can. So if you are at least able to do something, like, you should give yourself a massive pat on the back.
No, I totally agree. And I think another really good thing that's come out of this is people have sort of built a stronger community around themselves online. So, I mean, we were already quite supportive of each other's businesses. Obviously, we know each other and have that relationship, but I've found a lot of people have reached out, and I have similarly been reaching out to people just to tell them that I think what they're doing is amazing. Or, you know, I've had so many messages saying like, oh, you know, you've done so well with sharing so many tips and taking the time to blog and things like that. And if you're having one of those days where you feel like you're not doing enough, and someone you don't know feels the need to reach out to you and be like, you're doing amazing, that makes such a massive difference. It seems like
it means the world. It means the world when someone just says like, do you know what, you're doing such a great job. Like, it costs nothing to say that to someone, but if you truly believe that someone is doing a really good job, like, just tell them, because it means so much to them.
I know, and I think too, like, seeing the support, you know, there's loads of people that are posting about other small businesses or doing shout outs, or, you know, what you've done is so cool. So you started this Facebook group for your clients, which you obviously had a Facebook page and Instagram and stuff before, and you were quite active, but you've started this group, and every week you do different challenges. So sometimes it's to do with like posting photos of your meals that you've made for scratch, or sometimes it's, you know, sharing how many steps you've done or completing a workout that you've put together. Different challenges every week to get people involved. And everyone in that group is so supportive. Everybody's kind of patting each other on the back and shouting out about accomplishments and things like that. And I think even you might not have started a group like that had it not been for lockdown, because people are seeing each other going in and out of the gym. It's maybe not necessary, but see what a difference that's made, having that kind of community of your clients come closer together. That's huge.
I think more than ever just now we need a community. We're not able to have our face-to-face community, and I think having a community like that, and I'm very, very fortunate in that I've trained a lot of lovely, really, really lovely people, and they are very supportive. But what's been really nice, as you've just said, is that everybody's come together. People that like don't know each other, like people that train on different days at different times, don't necessarily know each other. They're getting to know each other, which is really nice. They're getting to know each other, although it's not face to face, and that's just been really nice how everybody's been so encouraging of others and very supportive, and we share a bit of banter, and we share our worries, and we share our happy thoughts and things like that. So it's been really nice to create a new sense of community. And you're right, I probably wouldn't have not started it, but I wouldn't have put as much effort in to it if it wasn't for this lockdown and pandemic. I probably wouldn't have been so involved in it. So yeah, I'm really thankful for all the clients that post in there. Like, you're always posting, and it's really nice to see, but I don't think that I would have put as much effort into it. I wouldn't have seen the need for it, maybe, whereas there's an absolute need for it right now. There's a need for community. There's a need for togetherness, and I feel like that group has really brought everyone closer together.
Well, and I think too, I mean, I've started a group over in my brand photography page, and it's a small, I think I've got maybe 45 or 46 people in there now, and it's kind of slowly building up. There's some people that are quite active, like you're in there and you're quite active in it, and there's some people that I think are kind of just more observing right now, and that's fine. I mean, it does take guts to kind of post creative work, and, you know, similarly with the fitness side of it, it does take guts to post photos of yourself or admit how long it took you to complete a workout or whatever it is. But it's nice that the option is there for people, and if they want to contribute, they can. And if it's helping them feel a little bit less alone, even if they're not actually posting, but they can see what other people are up to, and they know that other people are in the same position they are in. I think that really helps right now too. Like, I really think that we're lucky that this happened in a time where technology is such a big part of our lives, because imagine how disconnected we would all feel if things like social media and Zoom calls and FaceTime, and if that didn't exist.
I know, it doesn't even bear thinking about. I mean, I don't think half of the businesses that are running right now would be running if it wasn't for technology. I think that
No.
has played a massive part in pretty much every single person's life right now. So I think we have to thank it.
No, you're right. And I think I've definitely have this love-hate relationship with technology where I do appreciate it. And especially living in another country, it allows me to stay in contact. I get to see my mom and dad. They get to see their granddaughter. I've always kind of appreciated it from that perspective, but sometimes from the business side of things, it can end up feeling like a chore. It's almost as though you have to spend all this time online to stay relevant, be there for your clients. And as much as it's a really powerful thing, it can also be overwhelming, and you can get really hooked on it, and you can, be constantly checking your phone. But I think this has made me realize that actually it is quite a positive thing in keeping us connected. And if you use it in a positive way, and you're sort of mindful of what you're doing with it, and you're intentional when you use it, it can be so, so helpful, both personally and professionally.
Oh, absolutely. I think I've always said that if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't be on social media, but I don't think that that's true anymore, because it has allowed me to, in times like this, keep in contact with people. And I think that it is vital for any business, but especially small businesses, having a social media presence is so important. And I think if you don't run a business, you don't really understand the importance of keeping on top of it. You have to keep being visible to people. So you maybe don't use it for like recreational uses. You use it for business use all the time. And I know that in the beginning I was on my phone constantly, and I was working, but I was also using it for a little bit of like just scrolling through Facebook. Whereas now I'm more regimented, and I go, right, I need to post this. I need to do it now, and then I try to put it away. I mean, there's going to be the odd occasion where you're scrolling, but I think that social media, you do need to have that almost work-life balance with it, with just social media, or it can, as you said, become extremely overwhelming.
No, I think you're right. And I've definitely been a bit better. Like, you were saying before about people that have small kids at home. So I don't know how many of you know that I have a toddler or not, but my daughter Charlie will be 3 in July, and before this she was in childcare 4 days a week. She was in nursery 2 days and at her nana and papa's 2 days. So Monday to Thursday I basically had full-time hours to work, and I typically work a Saturday as well. And now I have her full-time and still need to try and fit the work hours in. So that has been a real challenge. But what it's also taught me is that when I have less hours to do stuff in, I can be way more productive. So what you were saying before about, you'd be on your phone to work, but then you would get distracted. Someone would send a message, you'd go answer that, then you scroll through Facebook, then you scroll through Instagram. So I've been a lot better about going, okay, I only have half an hour to use for social media right now, and trying to actually be mindful and intentional in what I'm doing rather than just scrolling, because you can lose hours of time just by scrolling. It's
completely like, I don't know where the hours go or where the minutes go when you're like on social media. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I think I've been quite guilty of spending too much time just scrolling and just not using it productively, and it's really not good for you, like in terms of your like mentally. I don't think that it's great to be on social media so much. I think that's maybe why we've got heightened anxiety and all these mental health problems coming to light right now. I think it's a lot. Social media has a massive part to play in that. I think it's like comparison city. You're constantly comparing yourself to what other people are doing or looking like. In my field, you're constantly looking at what other people are looking like and doing. So it is a comparison city, and I think if you can limit that, you limit your effect, and you limit the effect it has on you.
Well, and I think it's fine from time to time. We do just want to like check out and mindlessly scroll, and I do like seeing, like, as I mentioned, all my friends and family back home. I like seeing what they're up to because I obviously don't see them day to day. But I know myself that when I do spend too much time scrolling, and if I'm not being mindful of what I'm doing with my time, I fall into that same trap as well. You're comparing yourself to what other people are doing, and whether or not it's true, because we can all post whatever we want online, they can look like they're way busier than you and doing way more and way more successful. And, like you're saying, what people look like and what their business looks like. And it's really hard not to fall into that rabbit hole if you let yourself. So what I've been trying to do lately is, you meet like-minded people online. I say meet again in quotations because we've obviously not met face-to-face, but you meet people online and they maybe have a similar approach to business, or they're going through the same things as you are right now. And I think connecting with those people and actually spending time engaging with certain people in certain accounts that are sort of like-minded or that you can relate to, that's a really positive experience. When you come off, you feel like you've actually connected with people, or you've learned something, or you've built a relationship. Whereas if you're just scrolling and you follow loads of people who maybe you look up to, or who competitors or whatever, you end up coming off just feeling bad about yourself instead of getting the benefit. So I think the more intentional I am with how I use social media, the more beneficial it is and the less overwhelming, if that makes sense.
Oh, completely, yeah. So I kind of did that with my Instagram. There was a lot of people that I was maybe following because I thought I had to follow them, but they were making me feel a bit rubbish. So I was like, I'm just going to unfollow them, and I'm just going to continue to follow the people that I look up to, that I get inspiration from, that help me as a person, but also other people that help me as a business. And I just filtered it to try to make it more positive for myself. And that really worked. I just took away all the stuff that was making me feel rubbish. And I think that that's a lesson for a lot of people, is if you're constantly seeing something that's making you feel less worthy or insufficient or just not great about yourself, just unfollow them. Just try and get it off of your screen. You probably won't even notice that it's gone, but I bet you'll notice that you do feel a lot happier and a lot better in yourself for just getting rid of that account.
No, I totally agree. And on that note of what lessons that we learned, and I think we all kind of learn as we go with our business. A lot of it's trial and error. Especially if you make spontaneous decisions, like I think both of us have done at least in a few ways with our businesses. So I'm asking this question every episode because I think it's such an interesting one. If you could go back in time, what is one thing that you wish that you had known before you started your business? Or in other words, what is one thing that you learned the hard way?
I think this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, that I didn't really know how to start a business. Like, I didn't know anything. And I think what I've learned the hard way is that you've got so many hats to wear as a small business. I didn't really appreciate, I thought, I'll just start a personal training business. But what does running a business actually mean? Well, it means that you're the marketing guy. It means that you're the sales guy. It means that you're the accountant. It means that you're the person that actually does the actual service. It's the customer care. You wear so many hats that in a massive organization, you would have maybe 5 or 6 people doing those jobs, whereas you're doing all those jobs. And I learned that the hard way because I was so naive in the beginning. I did not appreciate what it takes to run a business successfully. And in the beginning, I was all over the place trying to work out how to do my finances, how to market correctly, how to juggle time. So I think that's one of the lessons I've learned the hard way, is how many hats you need to wear as a business, and how to also, what's the other analogy, like keep all the plates spinning, like how to keep all those plates spinning at the one time. That's something that I learned. And over time, I've found ways to keep all those plates spinning while still being able to do the job. So I would say if anybody's thinking about starting their own business, it would to be